Just a cold, wintry night on Main Street. Sounds like a terrible book. This is Ryan with the Goshen Paranormal Society. We don't know if this is going to work or not. I apologize ahead of time. The camera becomes blurry or shaky. So we've never tried it live before, but we thought we'd do something different. We're expanding out into the paranormal community and try to do a live tour of one of the locations we'll be investigating tonight. So while we wait for the rest of the team to show up, I'm going to show you around the old Wyoming Theater building, which is now Torrington Cinemas. It's just around the corner here. This 20th and Main Street, where we have, you're going to see this a lot in our videos. This is the old Trail Hotel. This place right here is probably the most haunted place, if I were to use that word, the most haunted place probably in the entire area, aside from Fort Laramie. This building was built in 1919 and served as a sort of a grand hotel at the time. There was also a bank. There was a clothing store in there and a gym, other random office space. Half of the hotel, the original hotel, still exists upstairs. And although we've been there a number of times, we're hoping to go back again and do a full in-depth investigation because that place is friggin' awesome. Up ahead here, we have the Elks Lodge. As far as I understand, this place used to be the morgue way back in the day. We have investigated there, but we didn't come up with anything. Maybe another time. So what we're doing is going here. This is the Wyoming Theater. Sorry if it looks like ass or I'm in the way. So this was in 1925 is when it started to get built. It took around 2 years. It was finished in 1927 by the McDonald Amusement Company. Harry McDonald is mostly responsible for the build of this particular theater. And Harry worked for the Denver Film Distribution Company in Denver, Colorado for a number of years, toured around the world looking at different theaters, and he wanted to make something really special for Torrington that they didn't have at the time. We had a theater on Main Street. There's a Mexican restaurant now where that is. And they wanted something better because all they had at the time was silent films and what have you. So this is the lobby. Right now we have Yogolicious. This is frozen yogurt that they offer here. Beautiful Christmas tree, by the way. I don't know if you can see that like I can. Changes color. The concessions. Now they have bathrooms over here. These bathrooms are interesting because the fourth time that we were here, we were downstairs in the basement and we heard footsteps, very loud footsteps that seemed to be coming from this hallway where these bathrooms are right now. These are not the original location for the bathrooms. They are downstairs, which I'll show you. These were added on later, I believe, by the current owner, Marie Flanagan, who's been gracious enough to allow us to come in here pretty much anytime we want and investigate. Let me give you a better view of the lobby without my face in it. See? Now, any comments that are being made, I will do my best to get to them. You'll have to bear with me as it's our first time doing this. Downstairs, we're going to go down there. Now, you can go downstairs either through this way or behind me on the other side of the building. And you can also go upstairs, which is what we're going to do next. So footsteps are very common. The sound of footsteps are very common in this area here, and where I'm about to show you upstairs. So we go upstairs, and there's a balcony. I'm going to try to stay out of the way of the shot. I hope everybody can hear me. We'll take a break here in just a moment, and I'll sit down and try to answer any questions. I don't mean to be ignoring anyone. So this is the balcony up here. Now, although there doesn't appear to be this many seats, I have yet to count them. Maybe I'll do that tonight. According to the research, you could fit 400 some people up here. Total of little over 900 people you could fit in this theater. We'll go to the other side. This right here, this little walkway from one side to the other, is another place where footsteps have been heard. You can see it's pretty loud floor, if you can hear that. There's the projection booth room up there. Okay. So in interviewing one of the old staff members, I'm going to take a look here. Johnny Smallpepper, look at you. What's up, brother? Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Johnny Smallpepper is 4 times the man I could ever be. You should see some of the stuff he eats. Dude is a stud, let me tell you. We're going to go down this way. Go back downstairs here. So that's the balcony. Now downstairs we have, there's not a whole lot to see down here. There was reports from that staff member I was just talking about of a shadow figure that he thinks he saw right here. Now down here is where the office currently is, and the old bathrooms are down here. They also store all the candy, the popcorn, the butter, all of that. So what he told us is that he would come to shut the lights off, and he peeked around the corner here. There you go. And he saw what appeared to him to be a human, an outline in the dark of a human that wasn't there. We have yet to capture anything like that so far, but we've seen and heard some crazy things. The footsteps probably being the biggest. See, when it comes to paranormal investigations, when you're all in a 100-year-old building, here's one of the old bathrooms. You can see now it's just used for storage. The other bathroom is on the other side. So we can go down here. Sorry, it's so dark. So down here in the basement, this is a good place to be to hear the footsteps upstairs because they are extremely loud. See, they hide all the goodies in here. So anyway, this is this section of the basement. Good place to be while we're here. Now, a lot of the time, what I was saying, when you're in an old building, you hear a lot of sounds and creaks and pops and all kinds of noises that we don't and can't automatically assume is some supernatural being, especially when you're in a place like here, because you have an ice machine that kicks on a lot, and there's a lot of old noises. But footsteps, and there's synchronicity because I just saw this. Footsteps are pretty undeniable. And when you hear them, you know what they are. And when you know that there's nobody up here, when they're, see, right here's the hotspot. When you When you hear footsteps from a place you know there are no people, it's pretty freaky. I was a kind of a skeptic, to be honest, that this place was even haunted. Here's the projection room while I'm talking. I was skeptical that this place was haunted until our fourth investigation, where we had the lights. Or I'm sorry, I'm looking at the light, looking at all the light switches over. When we had the footsteps, then it became pretty clear that there's definitely some weird things going on here. So here's the projector, and this projects down to where we're going now, which is the main theater area, the auditorium, if you will. They used to have live stage shows here. Roy Rogers would bring his horse. They'd have vaudeville. Check this out. This is cool. I'm going to try to not ruin this shot here. So here's the main theater right here. According to the paperwork, you can fit a little over 500 people in this area alone. Now, this screen is kind of a permanent deal at the moment, but they had a removable screen back in the day where you could fit all the acts and stuff up here. They'd have little circus acts. I believe Barnum and Bailey came here back in the day. They had, it's all concreted in right now. I'm going to turn this light on so you can see better. It's concreted in right now, but there used to be an orchestra pit here with a grand piano. Now, in order to turn the light on, I got to go into this dark abyss up here for a minute. You're not going to be able to see much. This is the backstage area. We'll go here in a minute. All right, so anyhow, probably can see it a little bit better now. There is the main theater. On the ceiling, they got a cool, I don't know if you can see it, but they got a cool blue color with clouds kind of motif in these false windows. Beautiful place. Again, built in, well, completed in 1927. This place is virtually fireproof top to bottom. The projection windows up here, they used to have shutters on them back in the day, and even those were like interlaced with some sort of fireproof fiber that was designed to melt in case anything caught fire. It would melt and seal off the machine room up here to prevent the rest of the fire or the rest of the building from catching fire. As you can see here, we're kind of gearing up tonight to do an investigation here. Now, what's cool about this door down below, before we head to the basement, this little door underneath the stage right here, that's just where the orchestra pit would have been. The door still works. It goes underneath, and then underneath here, they used to have 4 dressing rooms for the actors and dancers and stuff to get ready for the show. So before we go downstairs and backstage, I'll give you another look here. This is the Wyoming Theater in Torrington, Wyoming. Now it's the Torrington Cinemas building. We're going to go backstage. It's going to get dark for a moment. You got to go through this curtain. Bear with me. Jason Ghost Hunter, if you're still around, nice to see you. Bat Crazy Game Clips. Professional Paranormal Research, how you doing? It's good to see you guys. Chris Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins is even online. He's one of the investigators that'll be showing up here shortly. Thanks for popping in, brother. So this, now, okay, the lighting, not so good, okay? But here's the backstage area back here. A lot of wood. Here's the speakers. So we got all the speakers here behind the screen. This thing here, there's the screen. You can probably see through it. Now, there are reports of this ladder. I don't know if you probably can't see nothing there. That's dark. I didn't come very prepared for this. So this ladder apparently has moved on its own in front of 2 or 3 people. You know, whether that's true or not, we're still looking into that. We have not seen anything move so far. This that we're getting ready to go down to is the basement, and this is where the dressing rooms were located, underneath the stage. So obviously it's not used for much now. It's just a well, it's a normal dirty basement. There's a room here. I assume this would have been, where am I? Yeah. This would have been one of the dressing rooms right here. And then behind me, we have a couple of other dressing rooms here. Now they're just full of ductwork. Ductwork, dirt, and doors, apparently. There's some old doors in here. A lot of them. So this little area right here had this would have been the master room right here. Now this room is tiny. I don't know how many people they could fit in here, but I can't believe it. I can't assume that it's much. So I don't know if you can see this. They got a door here. This goes into what was a dressing room, but it goes immediately into the ductwork. A lot of changes, obviously, since the 1920s. This became one of the first spots to even have live shows of any type, and actual talking movies. Because as I said earlier, everything to that point around here was silent films. So this little theater here became one of the coolest entertainment venues around. And since 1927, I believe, is when the McDonald brothers closed the Lyric Theater. This has been the only movie theater in the city since the 20s. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick tour, and we're going to get set up here pretty soon for an investigation. We might click on again later. I'm not sure. So if not, I'll catch up with you guys here shortly. See you later.